Thank you, Chair. Thank you to our witnesses. I'm going to stay with the question of low-skilled workers at another committee in the Senate. We are studying the interplay between temporary foreign workers in the lower skills category and the demands of the labor market. And we have heard from employers and industry, like we're hearing from you, how essential it is to keep that pipeline of talent growing because of the unmet needs of the labor market. However, economists have a different point of view. They believe that the flow of temporary workers, mostly farmers and cooks, those are the highest category, are a de facto wage subsidy for employers because it gives them an easy out as opposed to meeting the natural response to supply and demand, which would be in this case to simply raise the wages in those particular jobs so that unemployed Canadians would apply. What is your response to what they are saying?
Often there is a view that some of the academics need to go and visit the pizza place in Olds, Alberta that is rapidly increasing their wages and yet has zero applicants from the domestic population, is advertising across the country, doing everything that they can to try to welcome a new worker, a new Canadian worker, somebody that's already here to relocate and to move to rural, remote locations where many of the job shortages are particularly acute, especially in some of the resort settings. Wages absolutely play a role in this, and employers are doing what they can under incredibly difficult circumstances, given the 2 years that they've just been through, to try to ramp up wages and benefits in order to attract workers. And small firms have some work to do in some locations. I can tell you, though, that there are millions of people around the world that would love to come to Canada for some of the jobs that Canadians seem to be taking a pass on altogether, and work in some parts of Canada where Canadians are not lining up to move themselves. And some of the programs, particularly provincial nominee programs that have been used to try to fill some of these gaps, have been incredibly successful. It's a wonderful thing, I think, in Canada that the benefits of immigration are no longer just being seen by people in Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, that we're seeing smaller cities and now smaller rural and remote locations increase their immigrant populations. And many times, yes, the immigrant may leave to go to one of the larger centers, but that's happening less often as well. We are seeing more signs that people are throwing down roots, and the temporary foreign worker program can be used effectively. Our biggest recommendation on that front is, and the government has moved on this to a degree, we used to have a temporary foreign worker program that was entirely temporary, and at the end of your term, you would be sent home whether you wished to, whether the employer wanted to hang on to you. The temporary foreign worker program as a step towards permanent immigration, I believe, is the solution for the long term. We've moved a little bit in that direction, need to do more, but that will allow the temporary foreign worker to throw down some roots in that local community, then have full labor market mobility perhaps after 1 or 2 years, and at the same time, perhaps then have a greater likelihood of staying where they are.
Thank you very much.